Today, we are traveling all around the Walt Disney World Resort in an effort to find the best food that you don't need a park ticket to eat. You may think that you have to go into the Disney World parks to find all of the iconic foods that you see people raving about online, but that's not true. In fact, I think some of the best food can be found outside the theme parks. With more than 25 resorts and a whole shopping plaza in Disney Springs, I enlisted the help of my friends over on Instagram to point out what they think are the best foods you can find outside of the parks. Our first stop is at Disney's Polynesian Village Resort for none other than the pulled pork nachos. Topolina Disney 88 says this is the best quick service meal outside of the parks. Are they right? Let's find out. You can find these beloved nachos at Captain Cook's, which is the quick service here at the Polynesian. There's a storm a-brewing. This wind is really picking up, and guys, I gotta be honest with you, I have never had the pulled pork nachos. Usually when I come to the Polynesian, I get either the coconut meatballs from down here at Captain Cook's, or I head upstairs to the Tambu Lounge and get the pot stickers and noodles. But I figured it was the perfect time to finally try these nachos. These pulled pork nachos are topped with cheese, spicy mayo, pico de gallo, and pineapple salsa for $10.99. And these are definitely like fork and knife style nachos. There is so much on here, you can't possibly get everything in one chip. You need a fork to assist you. Cheers, guys. These are definitely one of those snacks that you see people getting all the time, all over Instagram and stuff. I can't believe it took me so long to get these. I really, really like them. The number one ingredient in this dish for me has got to be the pineapple. I love that little bit of sweetness in there with the pork. There isn't much pork on here, I will say, and I could also use more cheese. When you get a bite with that pineapple, real good. It has all the textures and flavors kind of needed to make a well-rounded dish. You have the sweetness from the pineapple, the saltiness from the pork, a little bit of spice from the pico de gallo on there, crunchiness in the chips, and also there's like these little wonton chips. Not only just kettle chips, there's kettle chips and these wonton chips, but it kind of has everything to make a well-rounded dish. More of each ingredient and it'd be even better. Do I think these nachos are better than some of the other kind of fast casual quick service options here at the Polynesian? Probably not. I still think I prefer the coconut meatballs from Captain Cook's and the Tambu Lounge food. It's all really, really good there. But this is a nice change up, and like I said, I'm really glad I'm pushing myself to try that. That's why I like doing these videos, because you guys give me all these recommendations of things that I've never tried before, and I'm like, I gotta try that out. It gets me kind of like stepping outside of my comfort zone, gets me trying things that I usually don't order, so I am happy with this dish. Typically, I'm not the biggest fan of the Disney like generic pulled pork that they have at the quick service restaurants, which I don't think this one is made any differently than the other quick service restaurants, but I actually don't mind it in this dish. I also like the kettle chips a lot. These are like house-made chips. They have these at a lot of quick service restaurants. I like that they're using these house-made chips as the vessel instead of like your typical tortilla chip when you get nachos. But yeah, I could use a little bit more pork. I could use quite a bit more cheese, but still very, very tasty. And I would definitely recommend these if you're coming to the Polynesian. What a delicious start to our day here at the Polynesian, but we are not done yet. There is still so much more food to eat. So our next stop is going to be over at the Animal Kingdom Lodge. Now there are a couple of good things to eat here at the Animal Kingdom Lodge, but we are here at the Kidani Village, which could only mean one thing: Sanaa bread service. According to McKean Graham, the bread service at Sanaa with the secret spicy sauce is one of the best foods you could get without a park ticket. We're about to test this out. Now, Sanaa is a very, very popular restaurant, but they also have a lounge attached to the restaurant that's open kind of all day that you could also get the bread service at. And I didn't even know this lounge existed until I looked online. So I made my way over here. I had to ask the cast member actually where to go to get to the lounge. It's kind of like tucked away in the restaurant. It's very, very tiny in here. There are 2 tables, 1 long table, and then 5 bar stools. So it is very tiny in here. Not that many tables or anything, not that many seats, but might be a little hidden gem because you could come and get the bread service without having a reservation at Sanaa. I have not had the Sanaa bread service in probably, if I had to guess, like 10 years. It's been a very, very long time, but without a doubt, it is one of the most iconic, beloved foods here at Disney World. So many people love it. And like I said, it's been so long since I've actually like even been to this side of the resort. I never come over to Kidani. I haven't been at Sanaa in over 10 years. So I'm very excited to try it out again. I did get so many recommendations to try this over on Instagram from people other than McKean. So here we have the Indian style bread service. This has 5 breads and is served with all 9 accompaniments for $22.
First 2 are the spiciest, red chili sambal, jalapeno lime. Then go all the way to sweets. Green one is coriander, garlic pickle, red pepper hummus, tomato day jam, tamarind, mango chutney, cucumber raita yogurt. Red, you have spicy on top, garlic ginger traditional, pini porata is the wheat bread, and last one is onion kucha.
I do want to preface this review by saying I'm not the biggest fan of like African and Indian spices, which might be why I haven't like ran back for this anytime soon, but I'm very excited to give it another try. We have a ton of different combinations we can make here. There's so many different kinds of bread, so many different sauces, and of course I'm gonna let you know which is like my favorite combo. I feel like we should start with like this safe bet here. So I'm gonna take a piece of what I think is the garlic naan or just the plain naan. I'm not really entirely sure. We're gonna take a piece of that, and then we're gonna go in the red pepper hummus. This is the safe bet. The naan itself is very pillowy, almost like a little bit of an undercooked pizza crust. I really like that. The hummus tastes very sabra-y. Doesn't taste any different than your typical grocery store hummus. But now with the next safe bet, which is I think going to be this mint chutney. I think that's what it is. We'll see. I always love chutney. It's like an Indian pesto, so it's good. This is one that's included in the dish here, and I think this is supposed to be the spiciest one that's included in the naan. That definitely has a good kick to it. It tastes like a smoked sriracha almost. Very, very smoky, but a lot of heat in that. That is not for the weak. Another spicy one here that comes with the dish. This is like a darker sauce. That one's a little sweet and spicy, but definitely still spicy. And now for our final sauce, which is the one that you have to request, that I was told to request. It is the extra spicy one, and it looks like it's literally just pepper seeds. So I am expecting to burn my mouth off with this. Pray for me.
Sorry, I was like, where's my money? So, no, you're good. I got it from here. So that menu is going to be our food menu.
That's spicy, but I definitely think the other sauce that already comes on the dish is spicier. I don't like how you have to like crunch on the pepper seeds itself though. At this point, I've pretty much picked through everything, tried little bites and little dips in every single sauce. And I gotta say, I do understand the hype. I think it's a very fun way to kind of try new things, and it's very easily shareable between your table. So I think it's like a very fun way to kind of like discuss what sauces you liked and which naan breads you like the best. It's definitely very fun. But I think what would make this more enjoyable is kind of if they like labeled everything. Because yeah, they could come over and tell you what each thing is, but are you going to remember it? Absolutely not. Like there's way too many sauces and breads to kind of like remember off the top of your head which each one is. So I wish kind of like a beer flight at Baseline, how they had those like cards in front of each one. I feel like each sauce should kind of be labeled so you know what you're eating and know what you're dipping into, because when I was going through this, I had no idea kind of what I was eating. I was just using context clues and like looking at them and trying to determine what was what, but it was kind of hard to tell. And I know this bread service has a cult-like following, and for good reason. But I do think the bread service over at Eat in Disney Springs, the new Indian restaurant in Springs, I think it's a little bit better. It just tastes fresher and a little bit more homemade. Like the naan bread itself tastes a little bit more homemade, and then the sauces also taste a little bit fresher. Okay, we have enjoyed our bread service from Sanaa on the Kidani Village side of Animal Kingdom Lodge. I've now made it over to the Jumbo House. And why is nobody talking about how Kidani Village has the most inconvenient, strange layout at a Disney resort ever? Like, I would be a-okay if I never went back to that side of the resort again. The parking structure is weird. The whole layout feels like everything is like smushed on top of each other. I felt like claustrophobic in there. It was just a weird situation. So if I'm not getting bread service, I'm not going over to Kadani Village, but I'm happy to be back on the Jumbo House side. And I bet you guys could guess what we're getting over here. Believe it or not, there is actually a food that the Animal Kingdom Lodge is more famous for than the bread service, and that is the zebra domes. Mike Rand, as well as a bunch of other people, said this is one of the most iconic foods outside of the parks, so had to make my way over here to try this one out too. You can get zebra domes at the Mara, which is the quick service restaurant here at Animal Kingdom Lodge, but if you wanted an all-you-can-eat version, you could also get them at Boma, which is a buffet down below. Really great restaurant. I love eating there. I haven't made a review there yet, so hopefully very, very soon. But today we just picked up some zebra domes from the Mara. I keep saying zebra domes, and I bet you guys are like, what the heck is a zebra dome? Well, it is a chocolate mousse baked with amarula cream liqueur, coated white chocolate drizzled with chocolate stripes and chocolate shavings. And you get 4 of them for $4.59. When I picked this up, I realized this was probably a dessert that should be eaten with a fork, but here we are. We're just going for it. You definitely get the flavor of that chocolate liqueur in there. And what I really like about this dessert is that it's so light. It's not that like chocolate fudge bomb that you might want in a chocolate dessert, but it's very, very light. It's not too chocolatey, and it's melting in my hand, so I have to eat the rest of this. I honestly forgot how good zebra domes are. I'm really enjoying them this time around, and it's definitely a dessert that if I was staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge, I would probably get every single night I was staying here. It's like the perfect little sweet treat to end the night. And as I was eating my zebra dome, I kind of came to the realization, are zebra domes the original Disney dome cake? You know how Disney is like so obsessed with dome cakes? Like for any celebration or something, they're coming out with a new dome cake, and they usually are so bad. Like, let's be real here. They're usually not good. They're covered in like this gel frosting and the mousse. I could just do without all the dome cakes. This is a dome cake that I actually like, and I think it might be like the OG Disney dome cake. I don't know if I'm right, but I can't think of a dome cake that came before these ones, so the OG dome cake is good, all the other dome cakes. Well, zebra domes, check. The next couple of things on our list are from Disney Springs, which is no surprise because Disney Springs has so much amazing food. I want to start off our time in Disney Springs with one of my all-time favorite foods to get here at Disney World. This is at the absolute top of the list, one of the must-get things that you have to try if you're coming to Disney World, the fried mac and cheese bites from Wine Bar George. Misty, as well as so many of my other friends on Instagram, know what's up. I got this recommended a bunch, and it's for a good reason. Like I said, one of my favorite things to eat at Disney World. Let's go get those fried mac and cheese bites. Now, you actually don't have to eat in the restaurant to get these. You could get them from the little quick service walk-up window, the basket here, which is what I am going to do today. These are the crispy mac and cheese bites. They're served over a tomato sauce with pecorino for $16. Now, $16 for essentially, it's like gourmet fried mac and cheese. Might sound a little bit crazy, but I gotta say, I would be willing to pay any price for these fried mac and cheese bites. The only issue is they only come with 4, and I always want way more than that. I recommend everyone get their own order because trust me, you will want to eat all 4. And I consider any day that I get to devour these little beauties a very good day. Every single time. It absolutely never misses, ever. Fried to absolute perfection. And that mac and cheese in the inside, it is just creamy enough, and it has a little bit of a kick in it. Trust me, there's a little bit of a kick there, and you might think to like top fried mac and cheese with tomato sauce might be a little bit weird, but somehow it just all works. It just works. It just works. Trust me. I don't care what anyone says, this is the #1 mac and cheese that I've probably ever had in my entire life, but for sure the #1 mac and cheese at Disney World. I don't know, I don't know what they're doing here, but this is just absolutely to die for. And you might see a name of a restaurant like Wine Bar George. You might think, oh, they've got some good wine, which they do. They have so much really good wine, but come for the food too. I mean, this restaurant is one of my top 3 restaurants in Disney Springs, and it's not just for the drinks. They don't just have wine. Their espresso martini is incredible, my favorite at Disney World, and they also have one of my all-time favorite Disney foods in these mac and cheese bites. I am telling you guys, a trip to Wine Bar George must be included in your next trip to Disney Springs or just in your next trip to Disney World. And I am about to send myself into a food coma because I will be eating every single last bite of these 4 mac and cheese bites. Still gotta save a little bit of room because we've got a couple more stops left though. But we don't have to move far for our final 2 stops of the day. Next one is actually gonna be at Morimoto, but before we head over there, I wanna make sure you guys are all subscribed to me here on YouTube. If you're not, make sure you all hit that subscribe button, and also make sure you go follow me over on Instagram, because that's where I do these polls for these videos, and I wanna hear from you guys on my next video. Username is the same on here. Just write down Main Street, search it on Instagram, you'll find me, and hit that follow button. Okay, but the next must-try food here at Disney World, according to a lot of you guys, as well as Ray Chill, are the fried pork ribs from Morimoto. I have picked up the Morimoto baby ribs. These are pork ribs with cilantro and a hoisin sweet chili glaze for $15. And I hate to say it, guys, but these don't look the best. The presentation is really lacking. I understand it's a to-go place, but shoved in this little tiny box, they do look like they've been sitting there for quite a while. I don't know. I'm gonna trust you guys because a lot of people said that I had to try these. So let's pick these on up and try them out. Well, this bone's coming right out there. Maybe that's a good sign. I sure hope so. Guys, the flavor is there. I really like that hoisin sweet chili kind of glaze. It's sweet, it's sticky. There's also a lot of meat on these bones. Like, it says it comes with 3, but this is 3 pretty decently sized chunks. So for $15, I'm not mad about it. However, I was definitely right. They taste like they've been sitting there for quite a while. They don't taste fresh at all. They're supposed to be fried, and since they were sitting there for so long, they're just soggy. But I can tell you guys, if these were fresh, these would be fantastic. And I'm sure if you get them inside the restaurant, they're gonna be perfectly fresh. But I don't know, I'm a little skeptical about this walk-up window getting them from here, because this batch ain't good. But I can tell you, if it's fresh, this would be delicious. And I'm curious, since I got them out here, 3 pretty decently sized ribs for $15, I'm curious to see the price if you get it in there. Here we go. For 3 ribs, they're charging a little bit more, 18 bucks, but okay, you're probably getting them fresh, you're getting them at a sit-down meal, and then they also serve a 6 rib offering for $35. So not that bad, a little bit more expensive. It's honestly, I thought it would be a little bit more inside, but you're probably paying for the freshness, which, hey, I'd be willing to pay $3 extra for fresher ribs, because these needed to be fresher. One of these days, I'll dine at Morimoto. I've still never dined inside in the dining room, so one of these days I will get to it. But for now, we're heading just across the way to Homecomin for our final stop of the day. Now, Homecomin has some really amazing food. Another one of my favorite restaurants in Disney Springs. And of course, I got recommended Homecomin a ton of times over on Instagram. But one special request really stuck out to me. My friend Lauren from These Disney Days said, the hummingbird drink from Homecomin. It has a cake pop on top, so that makes it food, and I'm right there with you. I'm considering it food too. And out of all of the times that I have dined at Homecomin, which has been a lot, I have never seen this drink on the menu. I have no idea how I missed it all of those times, but somehow it slipped right by. I had no idea this existed. The hummingbird cake is the dessert that this restaurant is famous for. It's kind of like a pineapple banana style cake. And this drink is kind of modeled after that cake. So very excited to try this out. Now, they do have a little walk-up bar called the Shine Bar, which I'm gonna see if I could get the drink at. I don't have high hopes that I can though. So if I can't get it from here, I'm gonna head inside to the bar and see if I could get it there. Okay, so I did have to walk up at the bar inside, but this is the Hummingbird. It's made with banana cream rum, vanilla bean rum, muddled pineapple, blueberry, and pineapple purees, and it's served with a signature Hummingbird cake pop for $17. Now, I did expect this to be milky, but I don't know if I expected it to be this milky. It literally looks like a glass of milk with ice, and then we've got that blueberry puree down there. And I do hear that you have to stir it to get the full effect. But before we stir it, I want to try this cake pop here. Oh, that is good. They definitely need to sell those cake pops to go. I would definitely buy some for myself, but it's that classic pineapple banana flavor all in this very, very moist cake pop. If you guys love the hummingbird cake, I think this is even like a step up. Really, really good. I wish they offered it again. This would be like the perfect treat to like bring home to your friends and family. Bring them home a little Homecomin cake pop. And this cake pop isn't tiny either. It really is like having a whole dessert on top of your cocktail. But enough of that cake pop. We still got to try this beverage. Let's give it a little whirl here. Get all that blueberry puree incorporated. Okay, time to try it out. I'm surprised. It's actually pretty strong. You can definitely taste the rum in there, which is a good thing. There are 2 different rums in here. It's fruity. It's giving me a little bit of like blueberry yogurt taste. And the blueberry is kind of overpowering all of the pineapple and banana flavors, which it's still really good. I still really like it. However, I was thinking more along the lines of like pineapple banana. That's what I was thinking I would get from the flavor here, which again, I'm not saying it's bad, but the main flavor that's taking over everything is the blueberry. I was thinking this would kind of taste like a more non-frozen pina colada, which I was looking forward to because it's very, very hot today, very toasty out here. So I was thinking that would be very, very refreshing, but it is not that. And I'm just like so surprised, I guess. I think if I got this again, I would get it without the blueberry puree. It's still good, but I just want that, you know, the classic banana pineapple flavor. It is still a very fun drink though, and I love that they have something to kind of mimic one of their desserts on the menu. And I love that the garnish of it was a piece of that dessert, and a big piece at that. That cake pop was delicious. You really get a dessert and a beverage all in one. Now I'm just sitting here enjoying my beverage, looking at this view. Man, what a good end to the day. We're just relaxing on this little patio here outside of Homecomin, and it's turning out to be a really nice evening. The temperature has finally gone down, and I'm just loving it out here. Well, that is going to do it for us here today. Hopefully you guys discovered some great Disney eats. I know I definitely did. And this just goes to show that there is so much amazing food at Disney World that you don't need to purchase a park ticket to get your Disney fix. Huge shout out to all of my Patreon subscribers listed right here. I appreciate all of you. Again, make sure you all hit that subscribe button to see what I'm eating next time, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.